Brent Burkholder. I work for Grape Expectations. I'm out of Portland. Been with that company for almost 12 years now, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's because you left us for a while, so I didn't
did
know
leave
how
you
long.
for a little bit. So I guess 11 years. I started with them in 2008.
Wow.
But as a driver. That's how
that's
how
how
I got
come
in.
I didn't ever meet you.
Yeah, I kind of
Did
worked.
you ever deliver to Niche that you
I never
remember?
delivered to Niche, no. I was
Okay.
always doing the Southern Oregon route,
Oh.
which is where I met my first wine mentor. Kind of took me under his wing and showed me a lot of
And then
the
you-
ins and outs, and then
Okay.
worked my way from there. Yeah. As I said earlier with you, I'm always learning. It's not a stagnant or a static occupation. You know, there's always stuff to learn. And there's always new ways of making wine, new cool winemakers. I first liked wine because I was a history major. I was actually going to school while I was delivering wine, and it seemed to go hand in hand, like history and wine
Drinking.
and geography and drinking. I mean, that was just kind of always happening. I did some different things. I used to actually sell cabinetry. I used to like help people redesign kitchens, and I did CAD and computer art design. I did that right out of high school, actually. So I used to, like 19, 20 years old, I'd go to people's houses and like help them redesign their kitchen, and if they weren't turned off by how young and inexperienced I was, I get it. So I got like some sales experience with that, and
None of them said
that was
to
fun.
you,
Wasn't that
have
crazy?
you ever used a kitchen?
Yeah, it was just like, you don't even know how to cook. It's like, I've made Pop-Tarts most of my life.
And let me tell you the easiest way to get the Pop-Tart to the toaster.
For the feng shui, you're gonna want the toaster here, paper towels here. Yeah. So I have about 60 accounts. I'd say I see about 40 of them weekly.
Okay. So
Maybe-
people are going to wonder why you don't see. I mean, do you?
Right.
Yeah.
So some I maybe see once every few weeks, just depending on how much they order, and like some of the smaller retail accounts, like some small Fred Meyers or something. But the people I really like, I see every week.
Awesome.
So that's the real fun part of the job, you know. There's places you have to go, and there's places you really look forward to working with. You know, I love hearing about your customers and what they want, and like figuring out, you know, like putting the puzzle together.
Some places, I understand some places, there's no variance in what you can get. Like,
Right.
say a big grocery store chain,
Exactly.
they have SKUs they have to,
Right.
and you probably don't have a lot you have to do for them.
Exactly. There's not a lot of wiggle room. That's just basically mechanical stuff. That's not why I do this job.
Does your company, do you sit and taste wines together? How do you find out about the wines?
Yeah, since the pandemic we haven't, but we usually get together once a week. Like say one of our producers in Burgundy has a new vintage come out. We'll taste through the vintage and get to talk about the difference between the last vintage, and you know, talk about the weather patterns that year, stuff like that. Or if we bring on a new producer, so usually like once a week we taste maybe 7 to 10 new wines, maybe every other week. But yeah, it's not all just fun drinking though. It's really studying it, because you're also doing this at like 9 in the morning, and you have to go work, so you're not ingesting it.
Yeah, it's a 95-degree day. You are not working. You're in your shorts in your backyard, and you've got your feet in a kiddie pool to cool off. So what is in your hand?
I would drink an Albarino, so something like really, really dry and like lemony, limey, like something refreshing like that. Usually lower in alcohol, because then hot days you tend to drink a little.
Do you now?
Turns out, yeah.
Turns out.
So something from like Portugal or Spain that's grown in hot climates, a nice white like that is what I would go with. What would you go with? This isn't about asking me. Sorry.
I was like, look at you pushing your job
Well,
back on
I'm
me
curious.
again. Well, you know, I was thinking about this the other day because I knew I was going to ask you, and I was thinking that new Tonino line that you gave us, because it's 5% alcohol, would be awesome on a hot day.
Yeah, little bit of fizz, like
a little bit of
frizzante.
fizz, a little bit of being able to have more than one glass on a hot day, and being able to stand up out of my chair and out of my kiddie pool. That'd be awesome. I don't know, what would you drink?
Dry Riesling.
Dry
there
Riesling.
you go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
You know, I like those high octane Rieslings. I mean, if we can get
Taste the
those bad
gas,
boys up to
yeah.
16, 17%,
then we know we're in this country.
Right.
One of the first wines that like blew me away was I wasn't really in like studying wine at this point. It was a Barolo, and so I'd say like a small production Barolo with some kind of like mushroom risotto or something like that would be awesome. Barolos are just so complex and cool, and I feel like
I was drinking one
you don't have
last
to
night.
be you don't have to be snooty. You don't have to like be well versed to
Just-
like
yeah.
it. It's like some other stuff.
I mean, you've been coming here for a while.
Yeah, I
so-
was curious, like, where did your wine journey start?
You know, I used to answer that question with in Spain. I had some amazing €2 bottles of wine that had little sticky labels on them that somebody had written and set them in a basket. And I was blown away and thought, this is crazy. How come I'm not drinking this kind of stuff at home? But my brother, I was talking to him recently, and he said, "Oh no, because I came to visit you in college, and you made me take out a sheet of paper and blind taste these wines, and told me I had to take some tasting notes, and I was like, oh, well, maybe it started much earlier. I don't know."
Well, that's great. That shows that you were probably, made for this industry.
Just
like seeing
ready
what
for
other
it.
people are getting out of it. That's like the rule I have at home with my girlfriend is like, anything in the fridge is fair game, but you gotta like give me one note about it. Like
Yeah.
one tasting note,
Yeah.
one aromatic thing that you get, so we're all like learning,
Yeah.
about the
That's right.
what comes across.
you can't just drink anymore.
can't just,
It's
yeah.
now homework. All the time.
But just give me one note and you can drink
Yeah.
it.
Well, the thing that does is it allows you to pick something else for that person. So say, for instance, I was just complaining
Exactly.
we were out of something that I had just tried to order today, and these customers want 4 bottles of it. Well, I don't have it, so now I need to figure out what I'm going to put in its
Right.
place. And that's usually easier, but right now we're operating so lean. There's not a lot of extra bottles sitting around in the...
Right.
I feel like there's not even a lot of extra bottles sitting at distributors.
No.
So when
No.
we're out and we run out like this, and then we're trying to think of like, oh, this would be a good one. Yeah, we don't have that
Yeah,
anymore.
we don't have that. Yeah.
Okay, back to the drawing board again. All right.
But that's why I like working with you, because you're a curator of people's palates, so now we have like a language that we can talk to each other. It's just like, hey, we're out of this, but you like this, so maybe we can go
Yeah.
this direction.
Well, then I guess that's a wrap. Thank you
Yeah.
for being interviewed.
No
Thank
problem.
you for being our first interviewee.